Good morning. I'm here in the room again. I am doing a simple project. I bought a comforter coverlet from IKEA, in that bag thing, you pay 40 bucks or whatever. And I have a king size. So my pillows are king size. They gave me regular old pillows, like a standard size. That's not cool. So what I did was, because it was reversible, I decided I would make an abstract with it. Here we go. I cut it up sort of patchworky, and I put it together and made it the size of a king size, excuse my finger, a king size pillow sham. What I'm going to do with that is I bought this little 2 yards of gray fabric, sort of coordinating, I guess, from Walmart for about $5. So I'm cutting it the size of my pillow sham, the readjusted one that I just cut up and stitched together in a patchwork style. And I cut that. I only needed really a yard, but I don't need that part. Okay, so I cut that, and I'm going to stitch those two together and make myself a king size pillow sham. And I'm sorry, I'm coming back now. And because it's double and I need two pieces for the back, I cut two pieces. I just left it on the fold and cut two pieces, and then cut it up the side here. And so that makes two whole pieces. All I have to do now is just sew it together. Okay, I was just rethinking. I'm not using a pattern. This is just off the fly like I always do. All right, I was thinking, did I want to do the same method that I did on the pillow covers for the living room? I think I will. So in that respect, what I'm going to need is I'm going to need a little piece of the extra fabric, and I will, add to it. And when I get to that part, I'll show you. Okay, I put both of those two pieces together. There's no wrong side, right side with just regular old cotton twill. So I'm going to go 3/4 of the way. See, that's basically 3/4. See, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut it down this end. Try to get it as even as you can. And what happens is you have 4 pieces. 4 pieces. So with that 4 pieces, I'm going to add a little bit, probably zigzag one end, and the other end I'll add a little piece to tuck in. So I have my scrap here, and I'm just going to cut off about 3 to 4 inches straight across. And that's going to be for the flap, or the tuck-in area, if you want to call it that. There's no right way, no wrong way. When you know what you're doing, you're good. Okay? There, I have an extra piece to put on the end. That's all the fabric you're going to need. I got my pins, and we have 2 pieces in strips, and then we have 2 pieces in length. So we only need one of each. So what we're going to do with this is we are going to extend the shorter piece. We have the shorter piece here, and we're going to extend it. I didn't trim it yet, but I'm going to pin it there at the end, and I'm going to extend it so that I have the piece that can go as a flap, so that when you put the pillow in, you don't have to worry about, here are my scissors, okay. Let's cut this little extra piece off. I don't need that. Okay. Okay, so that's one short piece that's been extended, and here we have the other short piece for the other pillow to be extended as well. I'm just going to pin them up and do a regular stitch, across that part, and then I'm going to fold it over and hide the seam, and I'll show you that shortly. There's that cut off of that extra piece that I don't need. So what I've got to do is I have two pieces that I have to stitch across. Let's go to the sewing machine. Okay, I'm at the sewing machine, and I have my pieces that I have to sew, and I'm just going to put a stitch down this side. And I'm going to do a little back stitch, and then I'm going to continue with the other one. That way I don't have to, take it out and cut it and all that other stuff. That might be a little concerning to some people, but as long as you do your back stitch and your front stitch, you're pretty good. The purpose for a back stitch is to give it a little more stability so that your garment doesn't just, your stitches don't break and it just falls apart. So I'm going to take out my pins. Okay, and what I have is a seam. What I'm going to do with this seam is I'm going to flip it over, and let's see, let me show you. What we have is a seam here. You can iron it flat if you like. I just don't. I'm just going to fold this over and stitch it on here. Stitch it so that there's no bad side, because all this is going to be on the inside of the pillowcase. So I'm just going to, for safety's sake, I'll just pin it and try to get it as flat as you can. Because if you get it flat, then you really won't have to worry about it bulking up on you or your seams, you know, falling apart. You don't want that. I'll show you in a second on a close-up. Okay. All right, what we have here is we have your sewn part right here already, and you have, I flipped this over so that I'm covering up the stitch there. And I'm just gonna do a top stitch over top of it. It doesn't have to be pretty, but if you're, you know, gonna be looking at it, you may want it to be as straight as possible. And you can sew it on either side if you want. If you want to, you know, make it pretty, which, you know, is, you know, makes sense. You can put your presser foot down on it. Just don't, you know, damage your needle by the pins. Just be careful as to where the pins are. You don't have to do a back stitch on this because you're just going to go ahead . Take that out so you can see that. The reason why I'm using white thread is because you're not really going to see the underside of the pillow. And see, there's your stitching, and there's your seam right there. So you have a little extra so that you can when you fold it over, you don't see the, you know, the pillow lining or whatever. Okay, I'm gonna do the other one off the screen. Okay, now I have the long piece, and all I'm going to do with that is just zigzag it so that it doesn't, you know, the ends don't fall apart. I'm going to do that on both of the end pieces. Okay. Now we have 4 pieces. We have 2 long and 2 short. That's the other long one. That's the other short one. What we're going to do is we're going to place them together, right sides in. Okay? Like that. You're just overlapping the crisscross side, basically. And you're going to take your quilted part and you're going to put that right sides in. And you're trying to get it the same length. So you might need to just adjust your height, but you're just going to pin them together, and you got your right sides together. Let's go. That's flat. pinning basically gives you, you know, a good spot to sew so that, you know, it stays flat. You want it to stay flat. And by it staying flat means your piece is going to come out better, of course. You want it to be even and equal, and that's why I cut them to be the same size. Okay. So let's get to that other end over there. Okay. You have your right sides together. Slide this up just a little more. And always check it, basically. If you got a, you know, a spare pillow, put it up against it. I just happen to have one right here because I'm working on the bed. Okay, here's your pillow. And there's your end. You want to make sure that you have at least a half inch or so, you know, and there you go. You want it to be not so loose so that, you know, when you put it in there, it's all floppy. You want it to have a little bit of fit. Okay, so done with that. And so that tells me that I have a little too much fabric on my quilted end. So I'll just cut that piece off because I want it to be snug. And I want it to be, you know, so the pillow's kind of nice and fluffy instead of being, you know, loose all in there. So I'm pinning, and I'm going to get to sewing in a minute once I finish pinning. Okay, here we go. Finishing up on my pinning. And all I'm going to do is just sew the whole thing all the way around. Making sure I don't run over my pins, obviously. There are lots of things you can do with sewing. I guess they forgot about, you know, teaching people how to sew because they have tailors out there that do everything for you. But if you know how to sew, you won't need a tailor for everything. Some things, yes. But there we go. We're all pinned, and we're going to get the sewing. I'm going to pin the other one. This is just a repeat of the first one, like the first one we pinned. Again, we're taking right sides together on both pieces, on the bottom and on the top, right sides together. Pinning helps you sew straighter, obviously. Pinning helps you be a little more accurate in your stitching, obviously. It's a good thing. Some people don't require pins. Some people use the little clips. I like the pins because they're, I guess, a little bit easier for me to maneuver. You know, because if you're using the clips are really, really good from what I understand. And once I finish pinning, we'll go back to the sewing machine. Okay, we're back at the sewing machine. And what we're going to do is we're going to put those two pieces together. Okay, let's go. Make sure that you keep all your ends flat like they're supposed to be, like you pin them, and you shouldn't have any issues. Watch those pins. Okay, I'm going to back stitch a little bit. So that I can make my corner. I'm going to turn the corner and down this side. Taking the other corner, let's go. Guess I picked up a little something on that other seam there. Let's go. One more corner, and we're down at the home stretch. Right, so I've done all 4 sides continuously. Let's take out the pins and try this puppy on that pillow. Hopefully, if I did everything correct, then we have a new pillow sham where we didn't have one for a king size bed. You got a king size bed and they give you full size pillow covers. You know, you have the option, of course, to go to the store, to another store and buy extra pillow shams, but with IKEA's pillows, they don't sell the other, you know, the other extras. At least I didn't see any. So I'm going to cut off all these strings, all the extra threads that were long, and I'm going to trim those off. You can tie them or whatever you want. But let's go try this pillow cover on, shall we? Okay. Let's turn it inside out, or right side out. I keep saying inside out, but it's not inside out, it's right side out. And like I said with the other pillows, you can stick your finger in that little corner to make it square. Just stick your little finger. Once you turn it right side out, stick your finger in the little corner, and that'll make the corner stay square. Flipping it inside out, right side out. Keep saying that. Stick your finger in the other corner. And stick your finger in the other corner. Okay, so what you have is a pillow sham. All right, let's try it out with the pillow. Here's my pillow. And I guess I should have done that the other way. Do it the long way first. That way you don't have to struggle so hard. Squeeze it in there. Tighten it up. There you go. A nice pillow sham where I didn't have one. All right, let me do the other one and then I'll show you the final look. Okay, I just finished sewing the second one. Like I said, I'm flipping it right side out, sticking my finger in the little corners to make sure they're flat. And let's get on the other side. Corner, corner. Okay. All done. Let's stick this pillow in here. Get your little corners in the corners, your corners of the pillow inside the corners of the pillowcase. Squeeze that bad boy in there. Corner to corner, corner to corner. Close it up. There you go. Another one. Okay, let me make the bed so you can really see what it looks like. Okay, I just finished making the bed and this is how my pillow shams came out. They look pretty good, I think. And that's how you can take them off. No zippers, no Velcro, no nothing. This is my easy way to make pillow covers. I'm looking for some more pillow covers to make for the living room because the living room, obviously, it's not summer anymore. So, again, there you go. If you're not choicey about it, this is how you do it. Works for me. Now the bedroom looks a little bit better. There you go.